I've been at medical school for nearly 1,000 hours. And here is the 6 lessons I learned that completely changed my perspective. Lesson number 1, even at the bottom of the hierarchy, your impact can be huge. When I started seeing patients as a first year, I really thought to myself, I'm really wasting everyone's time here. I'm asking too many questions, I'm taking up resources, not really helping in any way, shape or form. Is my presence not really having any kind of impact? But I'll tell you this, take that reasoning and throw it out the window. Maybe you're the one who keeps a smile on everyone's face when they're feeling down. Maybe you're the one who simply listens to your peers, but also to the patient. And having that mindset will really change the way you look at yourself when you are in medical school. I can't even count the times the patient only wanted to speak to the student because of the connection that they form. And for me personally, I had this patient that I spoke to and we had a beautiful conversation. She was really like talking to me about all the stuff that she encountered, like her life and everything. And after that, she kind of teared up a bit and she said, thank you. She has no husband, she has no children, she has no grandchildren. And maybe it was the first time in her life that she felt that someone was listening to what she was saying. And for me, that is instrumental. So never underestimate what you can do, no matter where you are in the food chain. Lesson number 2, medicine is akin to filling a pool from the ocean. Let me paint the picture for you. Imagine if I told you I got you a shining new swimming pool, but there's a catch. You have to go and take a bucket with you to the ocean, fill it up and dump it back in your pool. And you have to do that until the pool is full. How does that relate to medicine? Let me explain. When I first started studying medicine, I was in a rush to learn everything. I was in a rush to become a doctor. I was in a rush to treat my friends and family. And I would get very frustrated because no matter how much I learned, I still felt like I was clueless on the matter. It was as if no matter how much water I scooped into my bucket and I put it in my pool, it was far, far, far away from filling up. However, I've come to understand that medicine differs from all the fields in the world. It's a bottomless well of knowledge. And as you grow older and learn more, you still have a lot of things that you haven't covered. I still see consultants and surgeons asking each other, oh, how did you do that? Or why do you do this? Just for learning's sake. So we should embrace this unique aspect of medicine. Lesson number 3, there's a fine line between healthy and toxic competition. I fully agree with the statement that you should keep comparisons to yourself. It's you against you. All that advice tailors your beliefs, it tailors your goals to yourself. So you don't compare yourself with other people's standards, because it is unfair to compare yourself to other people that have different goals, that have different expectations, different environments. But there's also a place for a healthy competition. Like we see in sports, like we see in any faculty, there is sometimes people that push you to do better in your field. For me, that is a small group of friends that we have, that we compare our scores after our weekly test. And for me, my group of friends know my expectations, know my goals, know my strengths and weaknesses. So if I fall below that, considering what they know of me, then they will start to motivate me. Having a sort of group of friends that can motivate me, that can push me, for me, it's a game changer. Lesson number 4, and for me, this is one of the best lessons I learned. Learn how to differentiate 2 concepts to see if you actually know them. Now, I assume you guys have come across Elizabeth on YouTube. She has amazing advice. She gave this really good advice that really changed the whole way I study medicine. Knowledge on a topic is defined by how this isn't another topic. In other words, if you simply can't pinpoint the difference between 2 concepts, you don't know what they are. For example, I was studying the difference between warfarin and heparin, and they're both anticoagulants, but I didn't know the difference between them. So when can I use warfarin and when can I use heparin, and are they the same thing? Because if you can use them both anywhere, any place, then they're the same drug. I realized that actually warfarin is for chronic use and heparin is for acute use. And warfarin is used orally while heparin is intravenously. So knowing that differentiating factor between them allows you to understand this is for this context and this is for this context. These differences make it so much easier to memorize things. For me, that is again a game changer because it can really change your perspective on how you understand things. Tip number 5, get an anatomy textbook. It will change your life. When studying anatomy, I had a problem. There's a significant difference between what I saw in the dissections room and what I saw on Google. When I looked on Google for dissected organs or dissected hands or legs, it didn't look as good. It looked bad. It didn't look as good as the dissection. Funny enough, I was in the anatomy suite doing anatomy and I saw a textbook on the table. Now this textbook was a dissections anatomy textbook. It shows dissected anatomy pictures that are very close to the real thing. And I thought to myself, let me just get one. And that is exactly when my anatomy grades started to skyrocket. There wasn't any discrepancy between the photos I saw in the textbook and the actual real specimens. So get an anatomy textbook and take as much time as you want looking at all the anatomy images. See for yourself how close they look in real life. Lesson number 6, this is going to be controversial, but note-taking is a waste of time. Use active recall instead. From the day I entered medical school to this day, I still haven't got a single note on anything. For me, taking information and putting it on a piece of paper or transferring information from the lecture to a paper is a passive process. You are taking something and you are copying it. You're not actively thinking or actively extracting information from your mind to retrieve information. When you study something, you want to actively retrieve it. So if I say, what kind of mosquito causes malaria? You would say, oh, this one. That is actively recalling information. But if I told you what is the mosquito that causes malaria and I tell you it's Plasmodium falciparum, then I'm giving you that information. I'm giving you, you'll be like, oh, okay, I'll try to remember it. But you won't, because it's a passive process. I gave you the information. What you need to do is understand the information head on and put it in a platform like Anki. Anki is not sponsoring this video, I wish. Anki is a platform that allows you to memorize information, and it has a very sophisticated algorithm to tell you, oh, by the way, you're gonna forget this if you don't memorize it now. If you don't know what I mean, go to my video and see for yourself. It's a wonderful tool to have. You actively retrieve information. It works on active recall, so that when you go to clinical settings, you go to the hospitals and the placements, you can retrieve the information because you've seen it so many times. I still remember 60 to 70% of everything I learned in year 1. Because of what? Because of Anki. So go ahead and download Anki or watch my tutorial or any tutorial for that matter and see how your studying changes. Thank you for watching, and as always, Assalamu alaikum.